Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News, March 2nd, 2020. Folks, over the last couple of days, we've had a lot of activity on the sun. We've had several coronal mass ejections. One of them was on the east limb of the sun. One of them was on the west limb of the sun. So there's been a lot of activity. And well, I'll just put it out there like this. There's been an awful lot of criticism on what I captured over the last couple of days. And I'm going to explain some of this like I've done many times before. Let me just I'm going to jump out of this screen for 1 second. We'll bring this bad boy up. Yeah, over the course of the last couple of days, I've been watching the sun very carefully because, it was getting around that time of the month when, normally we would see the coronal mass ejections. I mentioned that in my last live stream, and I knew it was going to be coming. It's just a matter of time. And sure enough, during a pretty decent-sized coronal mass ejection that was seen on the LASCO C2 coronagraph, and it was dated for February 29th, there was a coronal mass ejection before that also. So, like I said, there's been a lot of activity and also a lot of, naturally, criticism pointed towards me. And I had to shut the comment section off under one of my videos late yesterday because, like I've said before, folks, whenever I make these discoveries and I show everybody the proof and the evidence, naturally, the troll babies crawl out from underneath their rocks and they start spamming the comment sections underneath my videos. And I'm not going to allow that. I'll delete the comments. I will ban people from commenting on my channel. And that's that. And I knew it was coming. I told you folks a couple of days ago during my live stream that as soon as I show these photographs, I'll be getting in trouble, and sure enough, it all comes. Well, all of the criticism, the comment that they were spamming throughout my my other videos that I uploaded over the last 2 or 3 days is oh, you Photoshop. I mean, it's almost like these troll babies are members of the mainstream, lamestream media who all use the same damn script. I mean, come on, man. Don't you think that you could come up with something a little bit better? Number two, I don't even own Photoshop. I don't even own the Photoshop program, okay? Matter of fact, I'll take you through the program list in my computer, and I'll show you that I don't own Photoshop, and I don't Photoshop any of my captures. Now, like I've said before, I will use filters, I will use color changes, and I convert all of my photos, all of my video to ultra high definition 4K. That has been a technique that I've been using and I developed. It's been like 3 years now. And then, one guy left a comment and said, well, you can't convert any video to ultra high definition 4K. Well, yes, you can. Maybe you can't, because you don't have the proper software and video programs, but I do. And over the course of, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I have purchased very, very good video software. Okay, but I don't own a Photoshop program. And furthermore, Photoshop's really not an easy program to use. I tried it once before on a trial basis, I think like 3 years ago. And I think they gave you like a 7-day trial run. And I actually didn't like it. That's pretty much for like one of them nerdy types. I am not into animation. I don't have animation software and all that good stuff. But I do have some very, very good video software. And yes, you can convert videos to ultra high definition 4K. And yes, you can increase the frame rate. So all of those derogatory comments in the comment sections underneath my videos, folks, those really are not meant for me. They're meant for all of you. There was even one comment in there. One of these troll babies said, your subscribers must really be effing stupid. Well, again, these are all comments that are meant for you guys. These troll babies know better when it comes to me. They know their comments don't affect me. I don't bother with them. They can make 20 videos a day about me. I really don't care. I have better things to do, and I do not respond. But anyways, several people said, oh, well, I just watched Spicious Zerver. That's what I call him. And he just showed this coronal mass ejection, and I didn't see anything like that. Well, Spicious Zerver just simply shows you the raw data that he gets from Lascaux Soho. And that website that we used to use, they shut down all types of options to use that program to see the Soho and Lascaux coronagraphs C2, C3, the red one and the blue one. I don't use the blue one all that much because it is a camera shot from a very, very far distance. The C2 red coronagraph is highly zoomed in. So that's the one that I use. Different angstroms of extreme ultraviolet light also. So that is also another issue. Okay, you're dealing with frames and images. Okay, you're not actually dealing with video. Okay, they place all of those frames. I think it's like every 16 minutes. It will snap a photograph, and the data is then transmitted back to NASA and the people at the Lascaux Soho division that monitors all of that. They monitor these coronagraphs and a lot of other things. I am not sure. Now, I personally think that they get actual video feed, okay? But because that would be a tremendous amount of data for their servers and for, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the servers would, you'd probably have to have a skyscraper building full of servers. So I think they limit the data by these every 16-minute frames. So, that's the old-fashioned way that video cameras worked. They would take pictures, multiple frames, and they all move. So what I do, and I'll explain this once again, the minute that I receive the data, and look, folks, I'm on top of these coronagraphs almost 24 hours a day. I only sleep about, maybe 4 or 5 hours a day. That's it. So yes, I do have the time and I do have the software. And over the last couple of years, I have developed my own way of drawing out these objects, because just looking at the naked data, you may or may not see anything. Now, taking into consideration the quality of your desktop monitor, I have an ultra high definition monitor. Well, it's actually a big flat screen TV, but it's ultra high definition. When you guys are watching my videos and you're watching this on a cell phone, well, that's a little bit different. You're really not going to see things that crystal clear. So, I recommend either watching my videos on your big flat screen TV. If you have your cable company has the YouTube app, there are ways to relay the information from a cell phone to your TV. They make little attachments. Chromecast by Google, little attachment goes on the back of your TV, runs off Wi-Fi, and you could literally transfer anything from your cell phone to your big TV in your living room. So those are some factors when you're watching my videos and looking at these images. Like I said, I don't really recommend watching it on a cell phone unless your cell phone's like this big, So everything that I use and everything I do is in ultra high definition. It has to be, because if not, the images are blurry, they're pixelated, and I've been telling you folks about all of this for, last couple of years. But because I make discoveries all the time, they sick the troll babies on me. And it's not meant to agitate me, folks. Like I said, it's meant to get to you. It is as simple as that. They want you to not believe what I'm showing you. And if you're new to this channel and you just happen to stumble onto one of my videos, and while you're maybe watching the videos, you're looking at the comment section and you're like, oh, wow. Oh, look at this. All of these people are calling this CGI. Come on, man. That's the oldest remark in the book. Lens flare, oldest remark in the book. Oh, you photoshopped them. Oldest comment in the book. So those comments are meant for you guys. I've told you many times before. Ignore them. Ignore the comments, and I will delete them. I don't care what anybody says. You're not going to pollute my channel with your garbage. You want to leave constructive criticism or you want to ask questions? Hey, man, that's what I'm here for. I try to answer as many questions as possible. So anyways, once I grab the data from a screen capture. So remember, the quality of my video monitor, which is a big flat screen TV, I'm actually getting some better quality visual to begin with. So once I screen capture and record the information, I never download. If there's a download option, I never download it because the download quality is crap. So I use my screen capture software to get it for myself. Then, after I have my screen capture of either video or a still photograph, I then place that into my premium video maker, which is made by WorldShare, Filmora. So there's several different grades of Filmora video software. They make some very expensive software. You could freaking make movies if you wanted to. There are several options. Once I get into the program, I upload the video capture that I just downloaded and captured. The first thing that I do is I resave it. And when I resave it, I'm resaving it at the ultra high definition 4K option. And after I click on that option, I then go down and there's a drop down menu for frames per second. And then I usually use 60, but it depends on what coronagraph I'm looking at. When I'm looking at these Lasco and Soho coronagraphs, the red and the blue one, I will increase the frames per second to 120. So whenever my video is done, I export it or I save it as a video file. Once I'm done doing that, and that, even though I've got a really, really fast computer, saving a video file, as long as it's not really, really, really long, maybe, a couple of minutes, with all of that data, all those megabytes, kilobytes, all that good stuff, it takes quite a bit of time, even though I have a very fast computer. I have a very strong computer. The one my main computer that I use. So it does take a good bit of time for that to download. Then once that 4K video is done, then I re-upload that to my video making program. And that will allow me to zoom in. That will allow me to slow things down. And that's what I do. I normally will start to view my video clip and I will slow it down to about 50%. And then if I'm having problems seeing something that I think might be there, I'll slow it down to 75%. Sometimes I've had to slow things down 90%. And I've had to use the little slider, with your mouse. And I've actually had to try to go frame by frame. And that is one of the ways that I concentrate on what I'm seeing within this coronal mass ejection or whatever photograph or video that I'm examining. I will go frame by frame. So if I have say a 1 minute video clip, that 1 minute of video clip, I have 120 frames per second. That is a lot of data. That does take a lot of time to go frame by frame by frame. It's very tedious. It's a pain in the butt, but that is the way to do it. And if somebody commenting in the comment section doesn't understand that, well, I'm sorry, but I've been doing this for a very, very long time. There's no need for me to fake photographs. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely stupid. The fact of the matter is, folks, every time I make a capture or a detection of some kind, I show you guys the still photographs. I zoom in all the way. We look at the photographs up close and in person. And then I share the photographs either in articles or on Facebook. And I tell you people all the time, hey, examine the photographs. When I send photographs over to Mark at Wages World, I'm telling him the same thing. Mark, download these photographs that I'm sending you and review them on a computer, not a cell phone. Okay, folks, because there's a big difference. And look, I can't help it if you don't have a high definition computer screen. Look, I don't know what to tell you. But again, I try to show everything in good, solid quality. So if some debunker dude is pulling up the raw data from Lasco or Soho and he's letting the little coronagraph video play over and over, and all you see is you see the fast moving explosion, because they run it pretty quick. And then you really don't see anything, because he's not using my techniques, nor does that individual even know how. They may not even have the proper software. But what they're going to do is, whenever they're not seeing what I saw, and I spent, maybe an hour or so detecting, they're going to call me a liar. Look, I've been getting that crap for years now. It doesn't bother me. And then they'll do a video. Oh, look at this. Planet X News, photoshopped images, all fake images. I mean, these people are they're absolutely ridiculous, and they have nothing better to do. But then again, you do have the people out there that I believe are completely paid disinformation agents. Why would somebody, a grown adult, why would they want to stalk me on YouTube and Facebook for years? The same idiots. Think about it. Why would they waste and consume all of their personal time on little old me? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? The YouTube stalkers, because that's exactly who they are. But anyhow, anywho, and anyway, let's get down to business. Oh, and then one joker kept spamming my comment section and saying, show the video. Show the video. Oh, you won't show the video because you can't. Because, this is the other term they use. You doctored the images. Listen, I must have deleted, I don't know, probably 100 comments saying the same thing. You doctored the images. Well, if you consider using the technique that I developed, doctoring the videos, doctoring the photographs, you're a nutcase and you don't know anything. If you consider using some contrast changes and some vibrance changes, or even a filter change or a color change, if you consider that doctoring the images, well, so be it. That's your opinion. But I'm like that old TV show with Leonard Nimoy, In Search Of. So I will do what I need to do to find this object. And I've been doing this for so long, I've got a very, very good eye for it. I know exactly what coronal mass ejections should look like. Okay? Now, not every coronal mass ejection is going to look the same, but they do have characteristics. Over the course of the last couple of years, I've noticed that the explosive characteristics of these coronal mass ejections has changed somewhat. Now, that could be due to the solar minimum, and it also could be due to that coronal mass ejection, as it's coming out from the sun, is wrapping around a very, very large, round, spherical object. Okay? That is what I've been noticing for the last couple of years. And whenever I did notice that, one day, it's like that light bulb went on. Boing. And I said, that's kind of odd looking. Because as the coronal mass ejection was coming out of the sun, it had this weird looking C shape, a reverse C shape to it. And as it came out from the sun, it was looking like that, and it was getting bigger. So normally a coronal mass ejection explosion is what it is, a very massive discharge of plasma and particles. Normally they're a big burst. But it just so happened I started to notice that very specific look. And it was very rounded. It had this huge arch in the middle of it. And I took a few screenshots of that coronal mass ejection. This was back in 2017. And I did exactly what I just told you guys a little bit ago. I started to develop this way of seeing what was in that coronal mass ejection. Why did it look like that? That's kind of odd. If you guys remember in my live stream a few days ago, maybe a week ago, I told you this is kind of like standing behind a waterfall and, taking a round object, like a baseball or a basketball or whatever, and throwing the ball from the back side of the waterfall, throwing it through the water. And if you looked at that in slow motion, ultra slow motion, you would see that effect. And you would also see material attaching to the front of the sphere, meaning the water. Naturally, it would get wet. So just looking at this photograph, this still shot, it tells me a lot. Now look, I can't help it that the troll babies can't use my techniques. I'm not going to share specifically my techniques with those retards. But anyways, I'm going to show you the video. And the video, I had to slow this thing down quite a bit after it was all converted over. And it's pretty fascinating. Now, the troll babies wanted me to show the video yesterday. But see, I don't jump to their beck and call. I wanted them to get it all out of their system. And I wanted to wait. And I wanted them to stir in their own diapers. So we have the video. It's pretty damn interesting. It was very, very difficult to see at first. And I figured some things out, and we got some pretty decent video clips of this thing blazing through this coronal mass ejection, because this object actually created it. So that's a good thing, because during the coronal mass ejections, we're getting a good view of this. Something that was very disturbing over the last couple of days is, we've talked about there being multiple large objects. I think, again, we may have captured both of them within a matter of a couple of days, because they look different. They look completely different. And they were on different sides of the sun, which is kind of odd. But it happened. I have the data. We'll look at it. One of these objects seems to be, I don't know, maybe like it looks like it has a smooth surface. And then the other one looks like it has a real rocky, volcanic looking surface. I don't know. But it would probably be, pretty physically impossible for one to be on this side of the sun and the other to be on the other side of the sun in a 2-day time span. I think it was back in 2018, toward the end of 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Me and Mark obtained one really good photo capture of one large object, one medium-sized object, one a little bit smaller, and what seemed to be a couple of maybe little moons. Now, in this photograph, we see these little objects, and well, they're not really that little. Let me zoom in here for a second, and I'll tell you what. We'll bring up this photograph. And you can see it's slightly pixelated because of the filter. But what I want to show you guys is here. 1, 2, 3. And those little damn things, you know, there might even be one here where you see that little light spot, and there might be one right here. These tiny spots that you see here, we'll just bring this one up. These little tiny spots that you see here, we'll go ahead and zoom in. They are not really that tiny. They're actually quite large. I mean, if you look to the right side of your screen, that big white circle, that's the white circle and the black circle. The big black circle is the occulter. It's a disc inside of the lens of the camera on the spacecraft probe that blocks out the sun, the rays of the sun, so you can see the coronal mass ejection. The white circle represents the size of the sun. So you can see the white circle is the size of the sun. And then you see these little white dots. 1, 2, 3. These were the ones that were really catching my eye. And those are pretty damn near maybe like the size of Earth. Yeah. So when you do a comparison of the sun and the actual size of the Earth, you know, but you could just look it up, Google it. The sun compared to Earth, it will give you a scaled picture. So this little white dot right there, well, that damn thing's about the size of Earth. Maybe a little bit bigger, maybe slightly smaller, but that little white dot right there is no joke. I mean, you could possibly think that it's maybe ejecti coming from the coronal mass ejection. But man, that would be a large piece of the sun. And what was kind of odd is that they seem to be in a straight line, as you can see here. That uniformity of that straight line leads me to believe that this particular object may have other smaller moons, planets. I don't know what the hell they are. I mean, if I knew what they are, I'd tell you, but I don't know exactly what they are. And they appeared in more than one frame at different intervals, which tells me that they were moving. They were moving with that object. Now, pay close attention. In this coloration, you see this orange area here and this magenta pink area here. You'll see when I show you the video clip, you're going to see that part of the coronal mass ejection was actually connected, and this object actually comes from behind and goes right through it. It comes from behind and it goes right through it. So that right there completely destroys the narrative of, oh, those are photoshopped. Oh, those are fake. Oh, you doctored those. Give me a break. Nobody doctored anything. Let's jump over to the red one. Now, this is pretty close to the original color. The problem with viewing the LASCO C2 coronagraph is that red color that they use. It is really, really bright. It is very hard to work with. I don't know, man. It seems that, I don't know if this is just going off on a rant. I don't know if they changed the reddish color. It seems to be, at least on my screen, it just seems to be more vibrant. And naturally, when you're looking at things like that and that coloration is more vibrant, it's much, much easier to hide or miss things that may be in the background. and you have to bring those out. And that's basically all that I do. I don't normally mess around with a whole bunch of filters. I know which filters to use. A little bit of contrast changes. I'm talking maybe, 1 or 2, 3 clicks of contrast, increase, decrease. That's about it. There is one filter in my one video program that I like to use. It's called Cool Film. Cool Film. No matter what you place it on, what it does is it makes all of those adjustments, and that's what you're looking at right now. So after these photographs were changed over to high definition, 120 frames per second, I'm able to take screenshots. And you could see the word right down here. I mean, this little bit of wording right there, that's my screenshot. So I don't even erase that. Tells you the exact time I took the damn screenshot. So I'm not trying to hide anything from anybody. But this was pretty close to the original on the C2 coronagraph. When you watch the original video, you really don't see anything but this real fast coronal mass ejection. That's all you see. So unless you have the eyes of a hawk, you probably missed it. You really need to grab the video, download it, or screen capture it. You need to put it into a pretty decent movie software or video software program, and you need to slow the damn thing down. And after you slow it down to a point where you could see, frame by frame, and that's why I increase the frames to either 60, 100, or 120. It all depends on the quality of the capture, the screen capture. So upon doing that, that's when I just click on the one filter, which is Cool Film. I don't know why they name it that, but that's the name of it. And it kind of brings out more definition, plain and simple. However, it's not going to show you things that aren't really there, okay? So using a filter is not going to make a perfectly spherical round object appear in a picture or a video, okay? So just so we have that out there. So this is just zoomed in a little bit. Here was the actual position on the C2. This was blown up a little bit. And again, you can see those 3 small spheres in a row. And we'll get a better zoomed in. This is a full length. And again, all of the still photographs are high resolution. And I take the still photographs directly from my converted ultra high definition video. Why wouldn't I? So this is zoomed in all the way. And like I said, you can see one up here, one here, one here, one here. There's actually a lot of them all over the place. I don't know for sure if, I don't know for sure if those were large chunks of the sun. I don't know if they're little moons, planetoids. I don't know what the hell they are. But they kind of moved in sequence. You know what I mean? They kind of stayed. It looked like they were in movement with this object as it broke through the coronal mass ejection. One thing I did notice on the stereo core 2, that was actually Mark over at Wages World did a fantastic video. And he was showing these coronal mass ejections, one going this way, one going that way. I don't know if he noticed, but there's one point in time that there's about 4 to 5 hours of data that was cut out. It's missing. And it is missing at a very, very vital point. Why would that be? Yeah. And there's also a lot of static interference on that stereo coronagraph. The SEEDS website, they haven't uploaded any of the information yet pertaining to what we're looking at. So I think it's like the 27th, I think it might be the 27th, 28th, 29th, and 1st, or the 28th, 29th, and 1st of March. February, end of February, March. Those critical days of those coronal mass ejections, go figure, they're not loading the data. And I don't know, maybe they're cleaning it up. Who the hell knows what they do, but I don't see why it wouldn't have been loaded. And we see that happening all the time. All the time. So it's hard to say what's actually going on behind that scene. So, looking at this photograph, I mean, one guy asked me if I add color to the photographs. Well, how? I mean, I don't even know what the hell that meant. Add color? No, I don't add color. I don't have any kind of a Photoshop program that I could add color. And if you added color to something like this, you would probably easily recognize it. That's why when I do my live streams, I make sure that things are crisp and clear, and I zoom all the way in. And I don't want to show you pixelized photographs with no definition. What's the purpose? What's the purpose? There is none. So this was a pretty good photograph, and there was a couple of them that I was looking at. Now this one was in sequence, and let's take a look at this a little closer. And you could see those other little three dots. I don't know what the hell you want to call them. They were actually down here. 1, 2, 3, and then there was another one up here. And they actually moved upward like that. So again, I don't know if those were, ejecti from the sun. I don't know if those are small planetoids or orbs, moons, whatever the hell you want to call them. I don't know what the hell they are. I wish I did. I've been racking my brain on it for like 24 hours now. I don't know what the hell they are. This still photograph here, again, kind of weird. It doesn't seem to have that rocky looking surface like some of the other photo captures, some of the other detections. And this one is actually on the wrong side of the sun in connection with this 28-day orbit. So now I'm like all confused. I mean, me and Mark were chatting on Facebook yesterday, man. And I was showing him some of this stuff, and I'm like, dude, I am so effing confused right now. And he said the same thing. He's like, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with leap year. I doubt it. I don't know what the hell's going on, folks, but all I know is there's a lot of activity going on the sun. There has been multiple coronal mass ejections. 2 of them seem to be pretty significant. But forgetting about the coronal mass ejections and looking at what they revealed, to me, that is most important. And there just looks like this looks like the surface of this object is actually a little smoother than the other one. And I'm going to show you the other ones from a few days ago. I've been holding on to them. Usually when I do that, I'm holding on to some of the photographs because I'm waiting for more data to upload. Sometimes it takes 12 hours. Sometimes it takes 24. Sometimes it takes 2 days. Hell, I've gone back to the coronagraphs when they only had like 80 frames available. I go back a few days later and now there's 250. So you have to keep up on it. The majority of people that leave nasty, rude, retarded comments, they're not going to keep up on the data. They're not going to keep on going back. They're going to go with what they first saw. And again, 99.9% of those people do not know what they are doing, nor do they know what they are looking at. So that's that. I think that's an incredible, just absolutely incredible photograph. And this is back to the one with the 3 little, I don't know, because there's a whole bunch of them out here. There's one up here, there's one here. I don't know what they are. There's some weird looking flaming ejecti right up here in the corner. This could all be super large particles blasting out from the sun. There's a high possibility that this object may have a few little moons. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But it's pretty cool to look at. Oh. Yeah. Let's, I did that video when I was looking at the HI1 and 2 cameras, and I saw that freaking space wheel motoring around through space. Yeah, that was Photoshopped too. Yeah, okay. I'm good, but I ain't that damn good. Believe me. Anyways, we'll get to that. But let's check out the photographs that were from Cactus. And this is what I'm saying. This is what was weird. And this was, and Cactus, the Cactus program, and that's exactly what it is. It's a coronal mass ejection program. And just really, really weird. This was on the 29th. And just really weird, you know. And I showed some of these photographs on Facebook. And I don't know if I did a short video, if I threw them in a short video clip the other day. And one guy said, "Oh, I just went to Cactus, and I looked at that, and that thing ain't there." Cactus shows you a 9 to 10 second video clip that goes by like this. It goes by so fast. What the hell do you think you're going to see, man? Again, if you're not gonna download it, convert it, re-upload it, and slow it down and look at it, hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. You just don't have my expertise, do you? But let's check this out. We'll zoom into this. So as you zoom into it, it looks like a cloudy, like just a big hot mess going on in there. What we see is, again, you see those little black dots. There's one right there that you can barely see, but there's more of them. Again, this could be, massive particles of ejected material from the sun, or they could be moons. I don't know what the hell they are. But it was pretty cool to see that develop. And Cactus gives you very limited frames. I was able to catch it out of the corner of my eye. So what the hell is that? So, I had to go through my whole damn process, and only in one frame, because on Cactus the frames are very far apart, very far. So I was only able to get half of it, seems like a one frame. But as I zoomed into it, I said, "Oh shit, look at that." There you go. And it looks like it's, again, the view from Cactus is totally different from the smooth looking coronagraph on the LASCO and the C2. So that's what appeared on the same day, pretty close to the same time between the two coronagraphs, if that doesn't make your head spin. Here is the same thing in close-up, but I turned it into a negative. So if that's photoshopping for you troll babies, well, there you go. So simply just converted it to a negative to see if I could see something a little bit more. Looks like a big hot mess going on right there, but it would be, and if you check this out, you see how this comes to a little bit of a point right here and then further back and then out in front. So what that's telling me is that object is literally traveling through that coronal mass ejection. It is literally punching a hole right through that coronal mass ejection. Pretty cool. This is a broader. This was, let me back up because this was the other day. Is this on the 29th? No, this was the 27th. Okay. So the ones I just showed you, those were on the 29th. We're actually going backwards now. So that one was on the eastern limb of the sun. This one's on the western limb of the sun 2 days earlier during a coronal mass ejection. This is the negative. So we could zoom into it. As we zoom into it, pretty much the same damn thing. But on the opposite side of the sun 2 days earlier. So that's where I got really confused. I mean, this threw me through a loop because I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, are there two of these objects? Well, there would have to be, because in a 48-hour time span, one's over here, one's over here, one's over there. One's a little bit bigger, one's a little bit smaller. Now see, if I had Photoshop software, I could overlay them in a nice transparency and we could compare things, but I don't own a Photoshop program. But we could zoom into it. So this one was on the, I'm already zoomed in. I zoomed in all the way. Yeah, so that was from the 27th. Let me get the other one from that day. Oh, here's a good blown up one. So this was full screen. This was from the 27th. We could zoom in all the way. Now, because it's on the Cactus, it is a little pixelated because of all of the interference from the coronal mass ejection. And using the Cactus program, that's all you're ever going to see. You're never going to get a really nice, smooth-looking coronagraph because it's not meant for that. It only detects and records the coronal mass ejection. It doesn't sit there and record constantly. So it detects the coronal mass ejection, records it, and that's why there's only about 9 to 10 seconds worth of data that they show you. That's it, period. Now, as far as photoshopping the photographs, if that were true, this black line that you see there, that black line is actually in the Cactus program, and that actually shows you the trajectory of the coronal mass ejection. So how in the hell did I get a photoshopped white ball behind the black lines? Here, we'll just zoom out a little bit I mean, like, how did I do that? Did I cut the black line out and put it back in? No, it did not. And here's the original 104807 on the 27th of February. And again, these black lines that you see, and this is a negative. So normally those lines that you see there in black, they would be white. So there you go. You can go pull up this specific frame. If you can stop it on the Cactus program, without downloading, it's kind of hard because it goes by so fast. You'll see the line, and if you stop it at the right point, you may be able to see what was there. Where is the one that... Yeah, there's been a lot of action going on, man. There's been a lot going on the sun. Now, here is the same photograph that I just showed you guys, but this one is not a negative. This is the actual capture still photograph from the Cactus coronagraph program. And you can see there's the white line. Remember I told you what we just looked at was a negative. This is the original, and the black lines that show the trajectory of the coronal mass ejection, it's white. So this is fresh. It's just converted to ultra high definition for your pleasure. Let's zoom into it. So as we zoom into it, again, you see all of these little black specks and particles flying everywhere. That's hard to distinguish what that is coming from, on the Cactus because of the program that they use. It's just particles, big particles, small particles, whatever. But again, let's see if we can get a close up on this one that's real close. Yeah, this one. Now again, Cactus is always just a little teeny bit blurry, no matter how defined you want to make it. It's because of all of the scattered interference. But again, if that was a photoshopped photograph, a faked photograph, how in the hell do I get the coronal mass trajectory lines over top of the round black image? I mean, like I said, I'm good at what I do because of the years of experience and developing my own ways of doing things, but I'm not that good, and I don't have that kind of software where I can do ultra fake pictures and videos. It defeats the purpose of showing all of you the truth. But again, it's a good excuse. It makes for a good trolling comment. If you want to believe it, believe it. If you do believe those things, then don't come back to Planet X News for any of your information. Stick with the troll babies. But anyways, when you look at this, again, how would I get the black circle behind those lines if it wasn't there? If that object, that round spherical object, wasn't truly there, how did I get the trajectory lines of the CME over top of it perfectly, where you can go look at it for yourself, download the damn thing? If you don't have movie and video making software, go spend a couple $100 and buy it. Hopefully your home computer could handle the load. I mean, I've got I've got upgraded memory, upgraded RAM, upgraded video card, and my platform here is pretty decent power. So everything that I have in my PC, in my tower, is all upgraded. What the hell was it? 2 years ago, I upgraded the video card into a high definition graphics video card. The damn thing was $329 just for that graphics card. It's like a GTX something. It's used for like people that are into gaming and they play these real high definition video games. You know, if your PC is not set up for that, the game's not going to run properly. So there you go. Let's take a look. And this is I just did like a little collage here to show you, again, you know, there's no hocus pocus going on here. You know, I'm no damn magician. That's for damn sure. But like I said, I've developed my own techniques over the years, and I think they're fantastic. I think they work because the proof is in all the evidence. And you can say what you want to say about it. You can sit there and try to debunk it all you want. So if you want to go out there and get yourself some software and you want to try to learn these techniques or even develop your own techniques, go right ahead. Go right ahead. But, I mean, this just shows you the original from the Cactus, blown up about 50%, and this one down here is blown up 100%. What do you think about that? Now, this was, I don't know if I even showed you guys this. I don't think I did, because this was also on the 27th, but this was at a different time frame. And check this out. And this is a really, really incredible capture. But this I snagged off of the Secchi coronagraph that we only have access to just one screen of it. Now, the actual Secchi website has been down, out of commission for 2 years. But I got a little back door to this one archive, this one directory. So I can actually, after they load the data, I think they actually think that nobody looks at it. I do. It takes days, a couple days for them to load it. And when they did, this was the view. So let's zoom into that. Let's zoom in all the way. Now that is cool as hell. That was on the 27th. There you go. So you see how I was saying that one of them seems to be kind of lumpy, bumpy, and rocky, and maybe the other one seems to be kind of smooth. That's really got me. That really has my brain racking. I'm gonna try to figure it out. I don't know. For the last couple of days, I've been trying to, steamroll my brain to try to figure it out. But with all of these things going on around the world right now, it's kind of got me, going this way, going that way. I'm trying to maintain and write articles for my websites and trying to keep up on a lot of information that people rely on. So it's been tough and very, very long days. But that was really cool, and that thing is smooth, and it's perfect. So I have a negative. Well, actually, here's the negative, and the negative is incredible. Let's zoom all the way in. Let's not even mess around. So the negative is absolutely incredible. So what looks photoshopped there besides taking a black and white photograph and flipping it over to negative? I mean, if that's what you consider Photoshop, Well, whatever. Pretty damn interesting. But you see what I mean, how it's smoother looking than what we've seen before. And we could zoom in. I think I have one here that is much bigger. And I think let's see what it looks like we zoom all the way in. That's a little too much. But you could see it seems to have somewhat of a smoother surface. These pieces of real bright white that you see here, that is all part of the coronal mass ejection. Remember, this has been flipped over to a negative view. I have it in its regular view, and we'll take a look at it. This was the regular view without the negative effect, and pretty amazing. I mean, there she be, right there. So, I mean, if you're going to Photoshop something and you're going to like put an image into a photograph, I would say if you're not like a super duper professional at doing that, you would be able to tell just based on the edges. And, you know, when people send me photographs, people try to trick me all the time. Doesn't really work. I've been doing this for a long time. I've taught myself how to catch that kind of hocus pocus. Like somebody sent me a photograph, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago of a jet pilot in a fighter jet looking back like this, and there's a UFO right next to him, you know, in the clouds, maybe like about 100 feet away. And as soon as I looked at it, I downloaded the photograph. I pulled it up in my my one video program, and I pulled it up full screen, zoomed in on it, and it was an overlay. And I took a UFO photograph and I put another one into the picture, and you could tell it looked like complete crap. It looked like preschool. And I inboxed it back to him and I said, look, man, that picture's fake. It's completely fake. But whenever you look at this, are we zoomed in all the way? Let's zoom in a little further. Oops. So where do you see any type of overlaying edges? You don't see any, because the photograph is not photoshopped. Period. It's as simple as that. Anybody can make those statements, and if you want to believe it, believe it. Here's a side-by-side, top and bottom. Same photograph, same date on February 27th, Secchi coronagraph. You have the plane view here, you have the negative view there. Absolutely 100% identical. No hocus pocus, no nothing. So, like I said, folks, there's been a lot of activity brewing on the sun over the course of the last couple of days. Oh, before I forget. Oh. Whenever I was looking at the stereo ahead H1-2, or the HI2, I noticed that little space wheel thing. In 2018, I think it was in June of 2018, I detected this damn thing, and I watched it for about a month as it literally made its way, spinning, rotating through the view. And what you're seeing here is this outer edge here. It's like a porthole window of some kind. The sun is way off to the left. Okay. And we could zoom in on it, and I got a close-up of it. We could zoom into this. This gray thing you see projecting out, it's called a beacon. I don't know exactly what the hell it is, but that's what they call it. And you could see this object. It's got like a cross structure inside of it, and it's got like a little bit of an oval shape to it. But in my video and the photographs from 2018, I tracked that thing every day for a month straight across the screen. I don't know what the hell it is. It reminded me of Werner von Braun's space wheel. He was the German Nazi scientist that the Americans brought over that started our whole rocket program. And he had built a model of a space wheel habitat. The reason for it being in the shape of a wheel is so that it would rotate while it was in space, and it would create artificial gravity so you wouldn't have bone and muscle deterioration while in space for a very, very long period of time. And you could actually walk around. So as long as it was spinning, it maintained gravity, similar to the gravity right here on Earth. Now, I was showing that to Mark again because Mark reported on this. Once I started showing that video, everybody grabbed on to it. Some called it a UFO. Some called it this and that. But in all actuality, that thing, whatever the hell it may be, some called it a lens anomaly. I don't even know. I think even NASA came out with some kind of crap, but it didn't make any sense. Oh, it's something internal in the camera. Okay, yeah, right. What the hell is it? But a bunch of people jumped on it. They called it all kinds of things. To me, it looked like this big, gigantic space wheel. And there is a high possibility that those billionaires that have that consortium, I think it's called Asgardia, they actually wanted to build a space habitat, get it launched into space, because they fear the end of the world, and they wanted to go and live in that space habitat. And they had their own laws, they have their own citizens, and you could find it right on the internet. Asgardia. There's some kind of big-time billionaire, European billionaire. I forget what country he's from. He originally built rockets for the Russians. And the guy's worth billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And they had a big Asgardia convention. You could fill out an application to become an Asgardia citizen. Oh, yeah, but you got to pay big money. Big money. So who the hell knows what they have out there in space? And I got accused, once again, of photoshopping this photograph. What reason would I have? YouTube views? I only get 4,000 or 5,000 views on my videos because YouTube holds me back. It is what it is. Hopefully you guys share it, other people see it, and they're like, oh wow. I think it's an oh wow moment because here it is back again after being gone for 2 years. What? A camera anomaly just pops back up after 2 years? Oh, that makes a lot of sense. A lot. And I look at these cameras every day. 2 years have gone by. Now it's here again. I got the video. I'll show you the video clip. Here is a full screen, and we're going to zoom in on it. Now, this does get a little blurry because this is off of the Hi2 camera. They're not the clearest in the world. However, upon creating an ultra high definition view from the video, and it was a real pain getting that one frame, because it almost, on this Hi2 camera, it almost looks like things liquefy. It's really weird, but there you go. The only thing I did was highlighted the damn thing with a little bit of grayscale. Ooh! Scotty the Photoshopper's at it again. What rejects some of these comments are. But you could see it actually has some weird looking cross section in between it. Now, does that actually look like it's a lens anomaly? It's freaking three-dimensional on a two-dimensional screen capture. Man, the stuff people come up with and the comments that they leave are absolutely asinine. Incredible. Let me show you guys something. Oh, I'll show you the pictures from 2018. Let me get down to them. I think they're in this batch. I'll have to go through my videos and I'll have to find the video from 2018, because I did multiple videos on it as I was watching it day by day, going across space. Come on. Where's the Asgardia? Now, this picture wasn't an Ultra 4K. Oops. If we zoom in on it, it's going to be real blurry. But you can see it's got some weird looking shape to it, man. Real weird. This was just in another a filter, the Sepia filter. Really weird looking. And this is from 2018. I just took screenshots of it. But if that's a camera anomaly from some type of internal mechanism inside of the camera, come on, man. You got to do better than that. Because that's three-dimensional. You have a three-dimensional object in a two-dimensional photograph. How the hell is that possible? Same thing. These are just screen captures that I took. Weird looking. I don't know what the hell it is. Let me pull the video up for that little Asgardia looking thing. Pretty cool looking. I don't know what the hell it is. And you see it right there. See it? I'll let it play for a second. And then they block it out. And that was on the 24th. Yeah, man. I photoshopped that. Ooh. I'm an animator. I put that in there. Now, I'm going to keep on watching this thing because as it gets a little bit further across the screen, hopefully they don't black it out again. And hopefully this time we'll be able to see it spinning and literally rotating. So again, for all of those that try to debunk that and say that it was an internal reflection, an internal mechanism, it was this, it was that, well, how the hell is it rotating? And then in my video clips from 2018, when I was documenting that damn thing, it actually went from being flat-faced like this, it turned on its freaking side and turned towards the camera. But you know, it was just only a camera anomaly, according to the smart dimwits that like to, you know, harass me. Pretty cool looking though, ain't it? Whatever the hell it is. And whatever the hell it is, it's pretty damn big. It's huge. You guys could Google space habitat, space wheel habitat. You know, Werner von Braun did a whole entire presentation on his space wheel model, and it's available on the boob tube. You guys could go watch it. And what makes it even more suspicious is when they block out the screen like that. Oh yeah, okay. That's just another anomaly. You know, half these people that call things anomaly, they couldn't even spell anomaly. Every time I see the troll comments, they misspell the word anomaly. Dude, use spell check. You know, get the program Grammarly. You know, if you can't spell correctly, Grammarly or spell check should help you. I know some of them don't have education levels that pass maybe 5th or 5th or 6th grade, maybe 7th. Okay, now that I've thrilled all of you with whatever the hell that thing is, I don't know what it is. It's odd. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the images that were captured on the coronagraph, the LASCO Soho C2 coronagraph. And this goes back to the beginning of my live stream where we're looking at that coronal mass ejection. I told all of you exactly how I do it, what I do, converting this to ultra high definition. Look, Mr. MBB333 did a video about this coronal mass ejection. And I noticed in his video, he didn't slow it down enough, or he didn't do the same kind of work that I did on it, but he used the same kind of deep red burgundy looking filter because he wanted to bring out more in the background. Did anybody jump over there and accuse him of, you know, photoshopping it? I mean, just because somebody uses a filter or a minor color change or a contrast change doesn't mean they're trying to fake you out. But let's check this out. Now, whenever I finished up with this downloading into the Ultra 4K 120 frames per second, I slowed it down a little too much. And if I would have let that play, it would take I think 12 minutes for you to see the video. So I kind of went overboard a little bit. So what I did is I was using my slider in the video program to show you how this object literally came from behind and came right through the coronal mass ejection. And you will see with your own eyes, you will see with your own eyes that the object splits the coronal mass ejection in two. I'll just let it play while I finish my cigarette. And then I went back and forth. Or else it would take 12 minutes every time I show this. You see how it goes directly through? Boy, that's some good Photoshop, ain't it? Woo! Now, I can't help it that Spicious Zerver didn't show you guys this. I'm sorry that Mr. MBB didn't show you this. I'm sorry that the putrid debunkers didn't show you this, but they're not me. There'll be some color changes, black and white. And I zoom in. I zoom in all the way. Why? Because there's nothing to hide, baby. This black and white, man, this was good. Watch how it splits right through the coronal mass ejection. I actually had to send this video off to Disney so they could animate it, doctor it, and send it back to me so I could show you guys. And you could see those, remember those little small white orbs, moons, planets, ejecti from the sun? I don't know what they are. But you could see, I mean, come on, man. Watch this. Now you'll see the coloration in the orange. Let me stop it right there. Okay, here is the coronal mass ejection, large portion of it right here, and the leading edge right out here. Let's just presume that that is the hottest, the hottest and the most plasma that's being ejected from the sun at this point. You see already? You see already how it's being split in two? Let's just jump back just a little tiny bit. Okay, there you go. You see how full that is? Watch what comes right through it and splits it in two. This portion of video right here will prove beyond any shadow of a doubt, nothing's photoshopped. You just don't know how to use my technique. And I could sell you that technique for $9.95. Watch this, baby. And again, I had to use the slider to go back and forth, or else, if I would have had to repeat this video, it would have took 24 minutes or 12 minutes. If I show it to you twice, 24 minutes, 48 minutes. So I just used my slider back and forth because what I was looking at was how this object literally split right through that coronal mass ejection. That was incredible. And for the people that were trolling my comment section and saying, oh, he's not going to show the video. He can't because he doctored it. There you go, buddy. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Do. Don't worry about people, if people are making crazy comments in the live chat. Hey, you know what? I expect them to be here. I expect them to monitor what I'm showing you guys. Doobie doobie doo. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I mean, what do you think about that? Man, that's some good Photoshop right there, boy. Let me tell you. You can't get no better than that. Now, again, just because Mr. Spicious Zerver over there, Ben Davidson, just because he shows you raw data real quick for about maybe 10 to 15 seconds, he's not looking for what I'm looking at. And even if he did see it, he would never show it to you. Never, ever would he show you anything like that. And frankly, none of the other YouTube channels would either, because they don't want to get buried by the boob tube. They want to keep their big, massive amounts of advertising revenue coming in. And, they've cut mine down to nothing, man. You're talking, I don't know, maybe $3-4 a day. That's it. They've literally tried to squash me into hell because they don't want any of you to believe it. Because, yeah, man, this would change mainstream science forever. And they don't want to rewrite the history books. And they don't want to cause a global panic. We're already in one of those. Is this affecting the Earth? Yes, it is. If you guys are subscribed to Mark's channel over at Wages World, Mark does a fantastic job. Every time he does a video, he does a fantastic job of documenting and educating and describing what is being seen on some of these tools that we use, especially with the magnetosphere. I know a lot of you follow the Schumann resonance, and he does a good job with that also. So, you get a little bit of both worlds from, my channel and also his channel. But I think that this particular piece of video is just off the wall, man. You can literally, come on, man. I'm starting to sound like Joe Biden. Come on, man. You could see it with your own eyeballs. It's literally splitting the coronal mass ejecti in half. And in this slight blue filter, it's almost like a thermal image. And that's all that the filter really is. But it works very, very well in my one video program. And for God's sakes, you can't see that object coming through, splitting the hottest zone of that coronal mass ejection, splitting it in half and literally arcing downwards, and then the video cuts off. So, I mean, I was pretty damn lucky to get what I got. And I knew as soon as I put up that short video showing everybody the preliminary status of what I captured, I knew that all of those rocks would start to overturn, and all of those creepy little NSA trolls would start coming out. And they would want to tell all of you that that's fake, that that's photoshopped, and their new terminology is Scott doctored the photographs. Dr. Scott. Oh boy, oh boy. And people are asking me in the chat if I'm going to address one of these pedophile troll babies. Man, I'm not wasting my time addressing anybody. Okay? My loyalty is not to those freaks. It's to all of you. And if you're asking me to address some pedophile kitty toucher troll baby, forget about it. I've wasted like 2.5, 3 years addressing those fools. We're getting down to the nitty gritty now. So I don't have time for foolishness. But they're just butthurt because they can't do anything about me. The only thing they could do about me is kill me. That's it. Take my breath away. That's all you can do. I'm going to keep searching, and you know damn well I'm going to keep finding it unless they shut all of this off. Or they, NASA, the ESA, all of the space programs, unless they shut it down. And we have no more access to what little we have now. Boom! Put that in your pipe and smoke it, baby. Woo! Oh, yeah. Poor little troll babies. I feel bad for them most of the time. They don't have any life. Yeah. That's a shame. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Now, all I got to rack my brain today and probably tomorrow is once again trying to figure out what the hell is going on now that I'm pretty sure that, you know, I mean, I even hate to say it, but I'm pretty sure that there may be two of these objects in weird orbits. The one that we normally see in that 28-day orbit is pretty damn large. I mean, it's a big monster. The other one seems to be a little bit smaller and a little bit like rockier, like I showed you guys in the beginning of the live stream. You know, it seems to be like rockier, and the other one seems to be kind of smooth in a sense. So they could be two totally different types of objects, meaning the composition of what they're actually made of, but they are able to survive passing by the sun. Amazing, man. And again, I don't know what those little white dots are. I don't know, man, if they could be little moons. I don't know if they could be little planetoids. I don't know if they could be large pieces of ejecti coming from the sun through this coronal mass ejection. I don't know. Ha! Boy, look at that. Right through that coronal mass ejection. Woo! Yeah, baby. I don't know, man. That's some pretty damn good Photoshop stuff right there, boy. I'll tell you that right now. Folks, look, man, I got to laugh. I've been going through this for years and years and years with these idiots. They never have anything good to say other than their same old BS over and over. They're like a broken record. They say the same stuff over and over and over. One of them used to harass me and stalk me for 2.5, 3 years. And he used to agitate and harass another guy over in, I think, Spain. And the guy over in Spain actually is a pretty wealthy guy. He owns an online record and music company. He has a lot of money. And over the course of all of the harassment that was put towards him by this one individual, he decided to hire a private detective in this other country where this individual lives. And he had this private detective start to look into this guy heavily. I mean heavily. Found out exactly where he lives, what he does for a living, which is nothing, and really looked hard into his background. And after about 3 months of him investigating this nutcase, he found out that the guy had some very, very serious accusations pointed towards him as being a kitty toucher. That's gross. Okay? That's nasty. And people like that are sick in the head. And if you're going to harass somebody and stalk them online, on Facebook, on YouTube or Twitter, your mind's bent. Okay? It's bent the wrong way. Yeah. So anyways, folks, look, I wanted to show all of you all of this new Photoshop crap and debunk the debunkers. I could have did the live stream yesterday or last night, but I got busy with a bunch of articles and things I needed to get done. And but as I saw more and more of those comments coming in, and I could see that I was literally getting under their scaly skin, I decided to, wait another 12 hours and let them stir. What are you going to do, Scott? What are you going to do? They're calling you out. Well, here's my answer on your freaking screen right now to anybody calling me out. So it is what it is. You want to be like me? Act like me. Invest in some good software. And even if you say that you have good video making software or, good picture software, or maybe you own Photoshop. I don't own Photoshop. But I got a good eye, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I know what is happening on the sun. I know when to look for these coronal mass ejections. And as soon as they happen, matter of fact, the Cactus program has an email alert. I never told you guys about that. That's one of the main ways that I'm always on the ball, is because I get the email alert that a coronal mass ejection has just occurred. And then I'm on it like Blue Bonnet immediately, before maybe they have time to doctor the images or doctor the video. I grab it, I screen capture it, and I do what I do. I convert it all over to ultra high definition 4K. And let me show you guys something here real quick. One guy left a comment and he said, you can't convert any video to ultra high definition 4K. That's impossible. You can't do that. So therefore, Scott, you are a liar. You're lying to your subscribers. Watch this. Okay, you see right there? See what I typed in? Convert video to 4K Ultra HD. Well, hell, there seems to be quite a bit of directions on how to do that. And there also seems to be video information. Look, they're even using The Godfather. So, didn't you ever see videos that were older and they digitized them? Oh, you never heard of that. Oh, well, maybe that's because you live under a rock. You've never seen black and white photographs, movies that were digitized in color? Oh, you never saw that either. Oh, well, maybe you should relocate from that slimy rock that you live under. Because there are programs right here, how to convert video to 4K ultra high definition on Windows or Mac. Not macaroni and cheese, a Mac computer. And not a window that you look through, a Windows program. Oh my, Scott. You've proved them wrong again. They even have some freeware. But the only issue with the freeware is they'll let you convert like small videos and then they want you to buy the software. Oh, but Scott, are you saying that you invested your own money into top-notch software? Yes, I did. So there you go, folks. You want to do a little homework? Type this in, convert video to 4K ultra high definition HD. Watch a few of the informational videos. They'll show you how to do it. It's really not that hard, but you do have to have the proper software to do it. And at the same time, converting things to an ultra high definition 4K 60 to 120 frames per second will allow you to slowly move through the video and acquire great still photographs if that's what you're looking for. And again, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that ultra high definition still photograph so I can screen share it or screen capture it and then bring it up and examine it and zoom in on it without it being pixelized. Woo! Yeah. You see, folks, things aren't that hard. You know, you just have to have some brains and some know-how and, you know, some tools. That's all. Do. Did I make a few of you laugh with my snarky comments? Oh, boy. Let me see here. Anybody have any questions? I'm going to post the photographs in the... well, I've already posted the photographs in my private network. And, you know, if any of you guys want to support this channel, you know, they've been killing me, man. They've been breaking my back. But you could either join the private network for $5 a month. You know, you could buy one of the fancy shirts, and or just give me a pat on the back. Be a nice person. Share the videos, share the articles, share everything, and you know, that way we can enlighten more people. We can awaken more people, and we could bring more people up to speed. And you know something else, folks? You know, besides all of the spectacular views and videos and pictures that we see here at Planet X News, everything's educational, on the educational level. So, you know, using your brain, soaking up more of this information, and as you repeat it to somebody else, you know, you're keeping your brain active, man. You are feeding your brain. And I always believe in that. I believe in feeding your brain every single day, trying to learn something new. You know, the amount of reading that I do, the amount of work that I do here every day, you know, it's a 14 to 16 hour day. And, you know, I'm dedicated to it. It's what I do now, you know, and I've been at it for years and years and years, and nobody's going to stop me. No petty debunker is going to stop me. They're not going to make me feel bad. You know, they're not going to string me along into some nasty argument with them because it's worthless. But, you know, from time to time, I do have to address the issue because when they spam my comment sections under my videos with all of these nasty comments, those comments aren't meant for me. They may be directed at me, but they're not for me. They're for all of you. They want you to read those comments. And based on their snarky, nasty comments, they want to roll you over. And believe me, it does happen. I get inbox messages, I get emails that say, oh, I've been a long time subscriber to you, and I just watched this debunker's video, and he called you a fraud, and he proved it. He didn't prove anything. What he did prove is that you were weak, and you fell for his garbage. That's it. Or you were never a real true believer or a loyal subscriber. Take it for what it is. But that's how it is. But anyways, folks. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about some of the stuff that people comment in the live chat. I don't have a lot of time to monitor the live chat and, you know, kick people in and out, you know, and throw their asses out. I'm sure that all of you guys can handle nonsense people in the live chat. Just, you know, boom, 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 boom. Let them have it. Because whenever I'm presenting this information to all of you, that's where my attention is. My attention is showing you what I found, and that's that. Usually I'll get to the messages or the live chat, you know, towards the end. I plan on in the very near future, just doing some live streams where I can take some questions, and answers, and that's all I'll have up there, is the live chat, and we'll we'll bounce around on that for maybe an hour and get people up to speed. Farmer, roughly what speed was that planet doing going through the coronal mass ejection? Farmer, that's one thing I've been racking my brain on that for a long, long time. There's really no way that I can determine that, because those frames, and that's exactly what they are, they're frames from those coronagraphs. It's not actual video that they supply us with. So those frames are about every 16 minutes. Sometimes they don't include all of the frames. Like some of the data that Mark was using showing the coronal mass ejections on the stereo coronagraph. When I looked at it this morning on the stereo coronagraph, they eliminated 5 hours right when the coronal mass ejection started to protrude from the sun. They cut 5 hours and then it blasted out. What was in that 5 hours that they did not want us to see? They do it all of the time. I'm not a super mathematician. I actually hate math. But I would assume that object does move with some pretty good speed. I could just speculate on how fast it moves, but it seems to move relatively quicker than our other planets in our solar system. That's for damn sure. The planetary dynamics, the closer a planet is to the sun, the faster its orbit will be. The further away a planet gets from its sun, the slower its orbit will be. So we obviously see how close it is, so you can only imagine. I would say if it rotates around the sun, one complete orbit every 28 days, the sun's 865,000 miles in diameter. I'd say it's probably moving at about 30 to 40,000 miles per hour, somewhere around there. I don't know. I wish I did, but that's probably how you would figure that out. And again, it would be a very, very rough estimate and pretty much complete speculation. Mista, can you confirm that these objects are radically changing orbits unpredictably? I don't think they're changing orbits. That is very, very highly unlikely for an object that has been captured by the sun's gravity to just all by itself change its orbit. Kepler's law pretty much doesn't permit that. I don't think that these things are changing orbits. I think it's every so often, maybe once a year or twice a year, I catch two of these damn things. Now, like I said, back in, I think it was late 2018 or 19. Was it 19? I'd have to go look the photograph up. But for the first time, me and Mark were looking at some images on Soho. And pretty damn sure we caught multiple objects at one time. So, no, I don't think they change orbits drastically. That's just literally pretty much impossible. I mean, if that was all possible, it could happen to the Earth. All of a sudden, boom, we can change orbits. But, read up on Kepler's law, and that will help you out a little bit, understanding the closer an object is to its host star, the faster its orbit, the further out it gets, the slower its orbit. And for things just to radically change orbits like that, pretty much literally impossible. The only thing that would change an orbit drastically like that would be a collision. And all hell would break loose. But anyways, folks, it's been real. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I hope you enjoyed all of the proof and all of the evidence. And hey, look, if you guys are in the comment section underneath my videos, and if you see somebody bad mouthing me or bad mouthing the evidence, pay no attention to them. They're just doing what they get paid to do. And if you want to, if you want to let them have it, hey, man, you have my blessing. Anyways, folks, I am out of here. I got a whole bunch of news to catch up on. Hey, real quick, I want you guys to see something. Over on the Planet X News website, I'm going to put a link in the comment section under the video, and also the description box. But yesterday, somebody dropped some information on to me about this man by the name of David Elias Goldberg. Now, don't get this David Goldberg mixed up with the computer software guy, David Goldberg, because there's two of them. This guy's middle name is Elias, and they have just about erased him from all of the internet. There's very, very limited information left about this guy. But he was a hardcore truther. He was a Jewish guy. I believe he's from New York. Somebody dropped this information on me yesterday, and I started looking into it. And it was a video audio, a video of nothing but audio. And it was David Goldberg talking. And it was only about a month before he mysteriously died. And, I take everything with a grain of salt. I started looking into it, and I listened to the full 26 minutes of audio. And this was right before this man suspiciously died. And he goes into some really mind-bending intel. Upon me uploading this article, and I did a real short video yesterday. And the video is right here on my YouTube channel. And what I did, we'll go ahead and play this.
Hey Frank, our workers' comp insurance.
And when you guys watch my videos on a computer, always check your, right there, always check your quality settings, and always move up to the higher quality, because I do all of my videos in high definition. So I'll just pull this up full screen. And this was the thumbnail. And it states, this information was just dropped into my lap a few hours ago, so I looked into it. Not much is available on the net, but there is a bounty of information on the dark web. I would not advise doing what I did. You will probably find it shocking and unbelievable, but look at what is currently happening around the world. Read the article and watch the embedded video. It's all self-explanatory. The link to the article and video is in the description box under that video. And I just let that replay. Okay. And then what I did is right here, where in the description box under the video, I placed the link to the article on my website. So then when you go to the website, you can privately view David's last message. I think each and every one of you might want to take a listen to this. Yeah, let me tell you. Oof. Yeah, it will probably give you some chills. The troll babies. Oh, man, they came out in droves over this because this guy's information, basically after he died, suspiciously. Go read the article. I don't want to put this out on my live stream because they'll demonetize and they'll flag my live stream anyways. They do it every single time I do a live stream. Go to my YouTube channel, pull up this video. It was the last one that I uploaded yesterday. And the link, like I said, the link to the article is right in the description box. You simply click on it when it comes up. Read the information. Read it first. And I typed up some information that I found on the dark web about David Elias Goldberg. And I mean, they've basically erased all of his pictures. His YouTube channel is gone. His Facebook page is gone. His Twitter account is gone. Records of his birth are gone. Records of his life are gone. I'm just waiting for them to do that to me. But right here in the middle of the video is, just click on it and you can listen to his last audio message. Okay. And then read below. This is a comment that was left by a good friend of David Goldberg's. And you could read this information. Now, taking into consideration, David made that audio recording in, I think, May of 2019. And in June of 2019, he died mysteriously. Yeah. So, don't get David Goldberg mixed up with the other David Goldberg that is the computer guy, because he died mysteriously, but in 2015. So let me just show you guys, because I got all those comments yesterday also. Oh, you're such a liar. This guy didn't die in 2019. He died in 2015. Well, this guy over here, David Goldberg, he was the CEO of a computer company called SurveyMonkey. This is not the guy that we're talking about. If you pan over to images, you'll see him and his wife. They were a fantastic couple. She was involved in the company with him. But this is not the guy we're talking about right there. So that's where people immediately got mixed up. Okay, this is the computer guy, David Goldberg. And Sheryl Sandberg was his wife. But if you go to look at information, how David Goldberg died still doesn't add up. Okay, but that's from 2015. And these right here, these are stories about the computer software guy who died in 2015. The David Goldberg that I'm talking about goes by a middle initial, Elias. David Elias Goldberg. Okay? And again, they pretty well washed out all of his whistleblowing. Let's just put it that way. That's what he turned out to be. So this is the guy that you're looking for. Remember that face. So there's the computer software guy. He died in 2015. This David Goldberg, the whistleblower, he died in June of 2019. Two different people, same name, and they, both passed away on different days. Both deaths mysterious. But when you listen to my David Goldberg and you listen to the information that is in this video or in this article, you listen to it very, very carefully. That's all I got to say. Check it out and share it, because I can guarantee you that many, many other people will find that very, very interesting based on what is happening right now on planet Earth. Anyways, folks, once again, I'm out of here. Watch your weather, be safe out there, and stay tuned to Planet X News. And please do me a favor, share the articles, read the articles on USA Headline News, follow me on Facebook, and let's get the word out. And we must continue to share the data, share the information. That's the best advice I could give everybody. Be safe out there. Take care, folks.